At the War Memorial in Syracuse, the Crunch and the Senators on a Friday night. Ben Groulx is our guest, head coach of the Crunch. Well, Ben, it's halfway through the regular season for the Crunch. 38 down, 38 to go, including tonight. What do you think of the first half of the season for you as head coach of the Crunch?
Well, I think we got to be happy with what we have accomplished so far. I thought our guys are buying in. They're working hard. I like their attitude every day at the rink. I think they're a good group of people, a good group of athletes, and overall we're happy with it. But like you said, Dan, we're only halfway, and the work is in front of us, and we have a good challenge tonight.
It's not your first time in the American Hockey League. We know about your time with Rochester for 2 seasons there. Second time around in the American League, Ben. What have been the challenges you've faced that have been hardest to overcome so far?
Well, you know what? I think I'm way better prepared this time than I was when I came in 7 years ago. I recall last time I got the job, I was hired on late August. Didn't have much time to prepare. Didn't have much time to have a staff around me. So the get-go was not easy. Here I was hired in May, so I have plenty of time to put a group of coaches together and meet them and get to know each other and get ready for the beginning of the season. So, like I feel this year like I came in and I was ready for the beginning of the year, and we had the opportunity to put our things in place. And so far it's working well.
You've had so many impressive performers this season, many of whom have gone up to the National Hockey League. I want to ask about 2 of your All-Stars, in Matt Terramita and Yanni Gourde. What have you learned first about Matt, and what have you learned about Yanni now that you've watched them for a half a season?
Yeah, you know, I didn't know much about Matt, but I had heard of his performance in the past, and I knew he was a good player. I remember having a conversation with him at the beginning of the year and telling him that, you know what, Matt, I think the way we do things here, the way I am as a coach, I think it's very easy for you to play for me, because I think you have the skill set we need. You're a competitor and you understand the game. You can adjust when needed. So I thought it was very productive conversation, and he's just a good player overall, and he's been a difference maker for us, a leader for us, obviously. With the adversity we had to face, he was one guy that was very consistent at bringing his effort not only in the practices but day in and day out during games, and being a difference maker. For Yanni, I knew him from junior. I knew what he could bring to our club, and you know what, he's been an example. He's been great with his attitude, the way he works every day, his effort. He's very consistent at bringing the same thing over day in and day out. So now very pleased with not only the 2 of them, but the entire team as well.
And a first-place team, you certainly have to be pleased with that, and the best home record for much of this first half of the season. So, Ben, as we look towards the second half, and plenty of time to go here, what do you think are the challenges that face your team in the second half?
Well, I think right now for us it's to get to the All-Star break and try to do our best. I think our guys I'm very impressed with the way our team is competing lately. We have 5 more games to go to the All-Star break. Hopefully we're going to be able to play the same way, and then we'll see how it's going to go. Like we think that we're going to get our many guys back, obviously, from on top, and put that team together for the last stretch. I think it's going to be we're going to need maybe a certain period of time to readjust to get our things back in place, but I'm very excited to work with this group. They've been very receptive, and they responded well, and every night we're a tough team to play against, and this is what we look for, and we wanted to put an identity in place. I think they understood that, and they're doing it every night.
11 players have been either called up or are unavailable because of injury right now. So you've got a different roster today than you might have expected. So of the players that you do have right now, who's caught your eye? Who's been playing well lately?
Well, you know what? Most of them. I like how they think. I like how they perform. I like how they show up. They're here to compete, and you know what? It's an opportunity for them, and this is what this league is all about: opportunities. Like some guys have an opportunity to go play for Tampa. Some guys have an opportunity to go from the East Coast League to our team and prove themselves, and some guys are already on our team and have an opportunity to have more ice time, more responsibilities to not only prove themselves, but you know what, to be a difference maker. And I think they understand that, and they've been doing just well.
And you've shown a number of occasions this year, Ben, that late in the game your team can come back. After a tough loss, your team can come back. After doing that on Wednesday, you were down by 2, you tied it, and you managed to get a point in the standings. What does it take tonight and then against the Comets tomorrow to make sure that you guys get the much-needed points at home?
Well, for us, we go down, like, as you know, one game at a time, and we got to play within our identity. And I think this team, like you said, proves that there's a lot of character in this team, a lot of leadership. And what we want to do tonight, it's right from the get-go to be ready to play with pace, move the puck, and put pressure on the other team.
Ben Groulx, head coach of the Crunch. Thanks, Ben. Good luck the rest of the way.
Hey, thanks.